Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy second recording on this Wednesday. So, guys, this is a random recording. I wanted to chat with you all about something. This has been on my spirit for a couple of days now, and I've spoken to several people who deal with this. Many of you guys who email me, but what made me really wanted to talk about this was when I was in the bank. I was in the bank a couple of days ago, and this young lady, we were just talking. I forgot what it was about. I can't even remember, but she was basically telling me in very detail how she was bullied in school. She said things like, like they would like push her food tray off the table, things like that. So the point is, she gave detail, literally detailed information. And I think she said she was 36, something like that. So then that hit me on how you see how things that we encountered very early on as chosen ones, and all the things that we went through because people either misunderstood us or dislike us because of their own insecurities and their own jealousy and things like that. You see how as an adult, these things can follow us. For someone to be in their mid 30s and still give very graphic details of every single thing that had happened to her and how it traumatized her, and she still now deals with that even in her own marriage, not feeling worthy and things of that nature. So the point is, that stuff has to be released. It needs to be released. In what way? You have to determine that way for yourself. Either that could be you journaling, that can be you just speaking to others. But as a chosen one, there's no way that you didn't go through a lot of things. You're chosen. So that means you were a target very early on from Satan. The target was literally about getting you to feel rejected, abandoned, all these different feelings in hopes to diminish your self-esteem and your confidence, which would then be a detriment to where you were going in your adult life, to eliminate your purpose and your calling. How can you walk freely in your purpose and your calling if you were literally tortured? If you dealt with rejection and abandonment, how can you go freely in your purpose and your calling unless you're someone who pushed past it, which many of you have. I know I have. You push past it, but it's still there. But there are people who are still paralyzed and handicapped and refuse to take a first step into purpose or even their goals and desires because of fear of the unknown, the things that they were told early on that made them question their self-esteem, made them question would they be embraced. So they decide to not attempt anything. So kudos to those of you, my chosen ones like myself, who had that mindset and determination of, listen, I'm going to go get what's mine. And now understanding that it was never you, it was them, but you push past that and you're now successful. And again, it's still with you, but the point of the matter is you push past it. It's important to go back and grab your sister's or your brother's hand who were hit so bad that they were paralyzed and never had the determination to go forward. That's so important. That's freeing. Because when you are afraid to move forward in life for whatever reason, for whoever have harmed you, they won. They have won. Satan has won. The whole objective to target the chosen ones was always about eliminating you from reaching your purpose in your calling. And if you're stuck in that place of that trauma, Satan has won. So it is time. It is time for you to do what you have to do in order to release that so you can heal. I was listening to someone the other day and they had questioned, they were just doing a recording or a video, I should say, and they were questioning that they were at this place where they wanted to heal, but they didn't feel safe enough to release all the things that they had endured. And so I was just telling her that, different strokes for different folks, okay? Some people, family, you were taught literally to sweep everything under the rug. So it's almost like you're going to protect your family and you don't want to call anybody out. Okay, cool. Then you have a group of people who they just don't have anyone that they feel safe to release that stuff to. You have people who just can't afford a therapist, where in a therapist's office, maybe they can feel safe, but they can't even afford that. You have some people who have not even released this stuff to their own spouse because that's how embedded that hurt and that pain is. Even if you move past it, even if you went and conquered dreams on top of their heads and now they're admiring you, it's still in there. It's still in there until you tap into it and you release it. And then you start your healing process, which may be a lifetime, but you start that healing process. Because when you look back over your life, a lot of the things that you have done or you have not done, the root cause of it is the trauma you experience as a chosen one. Those little jealous girls, those jealous boys, the ones who made you feel like an outcast, the one who may have started rumors, the one who may have bullied you, the one who may have beat you up, the ones who rejected you and said you couldn't be a part of their group because you were ugly and all this other nonsense that children do. When you look back over your life, and you realize that you were insecure in this relationship, or you were insecure in that marriage, or when this person tried to leave you, you had this full-on meltdown because it felt like you were being rejected again and abandoned again. Some of the things that they said to you during an argument, you're now associating that with the things that these children or even young adults had said to you. When you sit back and take inventory, a lot of these things have played a part within your life because it truly had not been addressed, processed, and then the healing journey that should be started. So this is why I say with my chosen ones, a lot of people feel like they can't remember. Oh, I can't remember like when I was in elementary school, and I can't remember when I was this age and stuff. Well, a lot of the times, if you really think about it, no, you won't really remember every single aspect. Like you're not going to remember like every day of the year, but you will always remember the thing that traumatized you. So this is why the chosen one has such great memory. This is why you can think back when you were 5, the little girl who pushed you down. This is why you can remember when you were 13, when they started that rumor in school. That's why you can remember when you were 9, someone untied your shoe and made you trip. These are traumatizing things. So this is why your memory is so great. Because again, anything that traumatized you is with you for life. So as I listened to that young lady spoke to me at the bank, when she was speaking to me, beautiful white girl, brown hair, blue eyes, beautiful girl. So she was a target. But as she was speaking to me about the things she had endured and telling me how it has basically ruined her marriage. I mean, she's still married, but they have so many issues because of her self-esteem and things like that and her insecurities. But do you know, as she was telling me this story, her smile was so big. She was talking to me about all these events through this huge smile on her face. And then when I asked her something, I was like, they did what? And then she just started out laughing so hard. Like, yeah, but her laugh was just, and I was like, I had this epiphany, like, it's crazy how people can mask their pain. So that's why I always say stop envying and looking and being jealous at people, because just because someone is smiling, just because someone dressed nice, just because someone live in this and drive this, a beautiful home doesn't mean it's a happy home. Everyone want to live like the Jones, but most times the Jones aren't even happy behind closed doors. We all have our stuff. But in order to heal, we have to process that stuff. It has to leave our spirit. It has to leave our soul. However that is for you, you have to find your own way. Don't allow anyone to push you and say, you have to do this and you have to do that. And then on the flip side, don't allow anyone to silence you, because this is your healing process. They didn't go through it. They didn't have to endure that. So don't allow anyone to silence your healing process. If your healing process for you is to go and call the family to a group therapy, that's what you do. If your healing process is about writing in journal, even if you want to just write it down and burn it up, it has to get out of your system. You have to relive those nightmares in order to feel it and then heal it. But feeling it puts you back in that very same time frame. And this is why people run from healing. As a chosen one, you went through some stuff. People did. For myself, I'm telling you, I can't remember a year. And I'm talking about from elementary school. I cannot remember a year on being disliked by 90% of the females. For absolutely no reason. Who in the world disliked a child in elementary school? And not, for me, not like that bullying dislike, but more that jealousy. Oh, you think you just think you're that, and you just think you this, and you in elementary school. That's not normal. That's a spiritual demonic attack. Then you carry it over to middle school and, now you're older. So now you can internalize this stuff even more than you did in elementary school. And it's the same nonsense. And you ask the question, well, okay, you say you don't like me, but can you just tell me why you don't like me? I don't know. I just don't like you. Okay, so you dislike somebody, but you can't tell them why you dislike them. I've never in my life ever heard of something so asinine. But again, that just goes to show you that it is a demonic attack. It's in the spiritual realm. I said this before. I had a friend of the family who told me as a very young girl, like 5, 6 years old, that I was put up for adoption. Now, mind you, I look just like my parents. I mean, it's common sense now, but at 5 and 6 years old, you don't internalize that stuff like that. That I was literally put up for adoption from my parents somewhere across the country. They left me at a dumpster because I was an ugly duckling. And that my current parents found me at the dumpster. Who will tell a child to tell another child that? That's not even something that a child of that age would just come up with on their own. A child at that age 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, all you want to do is play with doll babies in on the monkey bars or whatever. That's a satanic, demonic attack. And as a child, you internalize that stuff. But God, in grace, because being called, let me tell you something. Somebody being called an ugly duckling over and over, and that may be some of you. Maybe the word for you was an ugly duckling. It may have been something else. Like I've heard some of you email me and told me you were called fat black gorilla. When you're hearing that stuff, it penetrates your soul and you believe it. But I thank God for grace because it never penetrated my soul like the ugly duckling thing. But it had me questioning, was I really adopted? Why isn't nobody having this conversation with you? Why is nobody having this conversation and letting me, like, where's my real parents? And my laughter, honestly, is genuine because I now know it was a complete lie. But I'm just saying at that very young of an age, when you're hearing stuff like that, it will mess you up. Because now you're feeling like if these are not my parents, that means my biological parents rejected me. What does rejection do? Rejection will keep you from your purpose because you will be too afraid to step out to try anything because you will fear that you will be rejected, where a lot of you are at now. This was an attack on you against your purpose. This is why I feel so close to my chosen ones. Because we're in a group of our own that, again, the majority of the people in the world won't understand. Yes, children are children, meaning every child, not every child, but most child probably experienced something, but not to the magnitude that we did, where we were constantly under spiritual attacks as children. Satan hoping to abort us from our original purpose. So I am here to encourage you guys, and I'm writing a book on this currently as we speak. But I'm here to encourage you guys, those of you who feel stuck and you feel fearful, you don't feel good enough, and you feel like anything that you attempt to do is not going to manifest because you're quote unquote not good enough. You're the quote unquote ugly duckling. You're the this, you're the that, you're the this, you're fat, you're black, you're such and all this nonsense. The best revenge to those people who have hurt you and wounded you, but most importantly, the best revenge is to Satan, because truth of the matter is, sadly, those people never even knew at that time that they were being used by Satan. They didn't know. That jealousy, and they didn't even know. They didn't know that it was a spiritual attack. It was in a spiritual realm working through them. They had no idea. That's why now they can come back to you and beg for forgiveness. That's why now they can come, because now they know, not all, some still caught up in that mindset. But if some of them have already gotten right with God or gotten to know God in a certain way, this is why they can now come back to you and ask for forgiveness, because they're now recognizing, like, what was that? I didn't even have a legitimate reason to not like her or him. Matter of fact, they're so cool. They're down to earth. Oh my goodness. How couldn't I have seen it then? Because they were being used then. So the best revenge that you can get on Satan is to face your demons, heal, and take that first step into purpose, callings, goals, dreams, and desires. You want to know why it's going to be successful? Because God will give you double for your trouble. God will give you triple, quadruple for your trouble. God's timing is not like our timing. God will make up the time. I was telling somebody this the other day. who was, had went through a lot of stuff as the chosen one. And I was telling her, I said, let me tell you something. God had his hand on us the whole time. Why do we survive all that nonsense? Why do we still have our minds intact when Satan was trying to take our minds very, very early on? God always had his hands on us, right? So now, once you heal and you start really walking within your own, your authentic purpose and your calling, God is going, let me tell you, it's going to happen so rapidly because it's like catch up. Things that you were supposed to have that business long time ago. You're supposed to write that book long time ago. You're supposed to have that marriage a long time ago. You're supposed to do this a long time ago. And God has been convicting you to do so. But again, you're still swimming in that trauma. That little do you know, if you take that first step, God is going to come in and bless that thing so good that your enemies will have to see it. They will have to come back and try to make good with you. That's if you allow them to, but So please get your payday. Please don't sit here and be on your rocking chair at 98 with all this remorse of how, you never did anything in your life you wanted to do because of the things that you experienced as a chosen one, very early on in life. Let it be childhood bullying. Let it be, that bad marriage when you were 19, whatever, whoever and whenever Satan used them. The whole original plan was to knock you off of your rocker. So you did not move and push through to your purpose and your calling. This is your season. The shift is here. They got to watch you eat. The shift is here. Go get it. Go get it, baby. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.